We will talk about it today that how far you have moved from your habitual, impulsive, mechanical nature to a nature of a seeker. I'll give you two examples, which happened in my life just last week. But first thing first, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. The mind of a seeker should remember, recall, repeat, anytime, anywhere. The moment you want to prove something, Ashok said me something. The moment you want to prove something, don't prove anything. Only one thing can be proven is the real self. What is that? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. I need not to prove the water in the mirrors. I need to perceive the real, only there is only a sand in the sunlight in the mirrors. And we go on proving, no, I can see the water, I can see the blueness of the sky. That is not going to help. But why it happens? Because of our non-seeker attitude. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. May there be wholeness in all. So why we don't see the wholeness in all? Because we are guided and dictated by impulsive, habitual nature. They will remain with us, but they will lose their power. What is that? Oh, you are responsible for my problem. No. The seeker's attitude is just the opposite. It perceives false will continue to remain with the real. You cannot remove it. Why? False depends on the real. And what about the real? Real is independent of the false. What is real? May there be wholeness in all. May there be peace in all. May there be happiness in all. Sarvesham. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. But if we think we have heard it, from today I can reach to that state, not possible. It demands a regular practice. Why regular practice? Because the mind presents the false. False means what appears true is not true. We are living in this world which will project false at every moment of your time. In any situation, please open your eyes. Don't I see you? You are Dennis, you are Jerry, you are Terry. So I have the mind has already divided it. But can I see the oneness behind? Where? Here. Means my perception must change to help me live into the spiritual consciousness. The false is not going to help you. The false is a is an indication. Okay, okay. I'll give you two examples. The mind will continue to perceive the false as long as it perceives the false. It is the world outside. What is the world outside? World is full of multiplicity with different labels: husband, wife, friend, enemy, jealousy, hatred. So when there are multiplicity, where is that? I recognize the six enemies of the mind. What are those six enemies of the mind? I have to simply recognize where they live in the mind. Recognize. What are those six enemies? Binding desire. Fulfilled? I want to repeat it. Not fulfilled, I am agitated. So that is what? The binding desire, agitation, or continued state of the pleasure. All the three causes the delusion. Now I am in the delusion. And when I continue to feel comfortable with this with these events of the false, what happens? That comfort zone is known as the pride or the ego, and that pride leads to jealousy. So these are the six enemies. They are always present, but they lose their essence, they lose their power, they lose their force to dictate over you. What is that? Six treasures. So what happens? When you uncover in the mind these six enemies through your awareness, not only you are a seeker, you are open to the six treasures. What are those six treasures? Calmness of the mind, or the mind mastery, or the mind is 100% available to you. Why it is available to you? Because your sense organ is not amplifying any object or a person. Are you understanding? Not amplifying. The honey is in front of you, amplification. Either for good reason or wrong reason. Oh, you insulted me yesterday. Oh, you loved me so much yesterday. Are you getting? You all are seekers now. You have to live the life of a seeker internally. So Dhamma, amplification, is not there. Eyes, what do you see? Oh, I see the monitor only. Yes, that's all. Monitor behind, and on the surface I see everyone. Can I maintain that awareness? I see the honey, but at the same time I see the reality. You cannot destroy the false. Only perception changes. This false depends on the real, it will continue. That gives me the empirical reality to me. What is that empirical reality? Because you are Jainis, here I could see it, but internally. So sama, dhamma. Third is the uparati. Mind says, no, I'm relaxed now. No, I don't want to enter into, I don't see you, Ashok. So uparati, withdrawal from the seeking, binding desire, calmness. Fourth one is the titiksha, level. Emotional endurance here means the emotional quotient, emotional poise, emotional equilibrium. You are not getting carried away. And then you have a faith. We discussed about it in samadhanam. Samadhanam means the solution. Solution. Now, two events. The mind will continue to perceive these events in the world outside. Why? You cannot change the world. Your dear and near ones may be suffering from sickness, may got successes, got married or got divorced or have the kids. Oh, these events are must, they are going to take place. You cannot stop it. My friend, I'm grateful to that friend who also immigrated to US. He lived in Houston. I also discussed about it. And on the 3rd of the July, he passed away, 81. He was 81. Mind felt sorry for him. Then a sense of comfort in the mind. That is how the mind lives in ignorance. Then a sense of comfort. Oh, a sense of comfort for two reasons. It happens to everyone. So you are examining. I examined it. Sense of comfort because he died at the age of 81. He lived his life. Second is that why I am grateful. He was the one who taught me how to do the scientific research. What exactly is the protocol? That is okay. Now see how the mind cheats you. Sense of comfort. Sense of comfort. What is that sense of comfort? Oh, I'm only 67. He died at 82. False. Do you see? So then the mind creates a story. I have more years. I have more years. Do you see the delusion into it? Who knows? I can die tomorrow. Next session will not be possible. Understand. You see the thought process. My friend died at 80, 81 or 82. That is what I talked to his wife. A sense of appreciation and gratefulness that he was the one who introduced me how to do the scientific research, how to write a paper. I've got many papers published long back, 30, 40 years, 30 years ago. But at the same time, I have another sense of the comfort. Oh, I'm only 67, he died at 82. There is no link. But the mind thinks in this way. So if you are not aware of the delusion, you fall into the comfort zone I told you. In the moment you fall into the comfort zone, and the delusion takes over. But can I maintain that awareness? Can I maintain that awareness? I believe you are getting it. The second incident I don't want to name. She is the richest princess in India. In India, we used to have kingdom, small kingdom. So she alone owns about $67 billion of worth without doing anything, inherited princess. That is also okay. If she owns it, then let her own it. But then I saw the two commandos protecting her on either side. The mind said, okay, can the commando protect the death of anyone? If the commandos can protect the death of anyone, then everyone will invest in that money. It can only prevent some external forces, but if the death is destined today, no commando can protect. Outside it looks very impressive, but inside there is a moment of delusion I have to get rid of this delusion all the time. That is what is known as the mindfulness. I have to live into that awareness. Why? Then your anger, hesitation, they don't come to you. Why they come to you? What we are studying. 6 enemies and the 6 treasures. Where? 6 enemies in the mind and 6 treasures in the mind. Delusion of time and the wisdom of impermanence. Delusion of time, he died at 82. Wisdom of impermanence. Instantly your mind perceives body is temporary, mind is temporary, intellect is temporary, all these 6 enemies makes me believe that I'm only 67, 82 is too far. Do you see that? You all are seekers. We are moving ahead. Can you become aware of that? And when you become aware of that, I can bet you, mind cannot invite any form of anxiety, duality, conflict. Mind felt sorry for him. Then a sense of comfort. I'm only 67. Means I have more years. Mind, do you know you really have more years? I asked the mind. Do you really know it? This is the classic example of the ego mind, clinging to a false sense of security based on a quantitative measure is rather than qualitative understanding of the unpredictable nature of life. The child is born and dies. God is very cruel. Oh, really? You are the only guy who knows everything about the God. What is the delusion? Delusion here is more years equate to more control or immunity from the death. You are comparing your subjective experience. Last time I discussed about it. You are comparing your subjective experience of time remaining to the objective reality of your friend's death. I told you, gravitation. Earth moves around the sunrise. Sunrise is common for everyone. But subjective experience, it's a bad morning, it's a good morning. Where it lives, lives in the mind. Why we are discussing? It is the problem. It is the delusion that is causing you the anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict in your life. Every day. Oh, you say, okay, let it pass, I'm very sorry he died. No. I have to move the mind from the 6 enemies to the 6 treasures. And once, even if you think like this, you start revealing these 6 treasures in you. I think more or less we all have we all have the same thought pattern in our mind. So the master says, by consistent attending, listening and learning, satsang, listening, learning, contemplation and reflection, it will help you remove these delusions just by listening, just by understanding. 50 or 60% of the delusions can be removed by listening and learning, and the rest by the practice. how commandos can protect if the death has to come. It doesn't mean that we should not have it. Princess should not have it. Love, have it. It doesn't mean that I start speeding on the road. We have already discovered that that is the first part, the basics of the seeker, that they should perform the duty while living in the world. But then we move further to the next level. We have to check, mind, are you living in a delusion or you are living? If the I-ness is there, I-ness says, I am teaching you all. You all are ignorant. This is my delusion. If the mind says, no, let me help, you also reveal the same knowledge. I am a seeker. Can you live into that state of mind? In modern life, we can say you observe without judgment, you discern objective from the subjective reality, you embrace impermanence and non-attachment. Are you getting it? So attitude of a seeker and a burning desire for the real self will help your mind to return to that state of awareness, and then we can understand what exactly is this spiritual consciousness. You can perceive what I said. False depends on the real. Real is independent. It does not depend on the false. We cannot erase and destroy false. We can only recognize it is false and it is real. Because the very false is the empirical reality. Body is the empirical reality. Consciousness cannot directly speak to you. You don't see anything and somewhere the noise is coming, you will say the ghost is there. So once you live into that awareness, you recognize Monday is not a problem. Friday is not a moment of pleasure. Do you remember? Thanks God it's Friday. You perceive, your perception has changed, your level of awareness has changed. When you change your level of awareness, looking at the world and inside, you discern it. It comes by satsang. Satsang, it provides the right knowledge, it challenges your limited perception, it offers you a broader experience. How the broader experience? The teacher shares a broader wisdom. It cultivates, or I would say it awakens you to the Sato Guna more and more. Some people may learn after 20 years based on their level of awareness. Some people learn in every session, they rise above. The satsang reinforces humility. It increases the burning desire for freedom, for peace and happiness. So, why I have been spending little more time on these 6 treasures? Satsang alone can awaken the 6 treasures. If we are a higher level of a seeker, it makes you instantly aware. My friend died at 82. Yes, I'm grateful. That is also okay in a societal way. Yes, I talked to his wife and everything is good. But I seldom become aware of what is going on in the mind. Oh, he also died. Four of my friends also died. Mine deeper inside said, now it is my turn. Inside it says, outside it is grateful. Ah, it sends the condolences. So satsang helps you to get rid of what is going on inside. It brings the clarity and the freedom from the duality. You are able to perceive the innate happiness in you in all the situations. Even in difficult situations, satsang, which leads to the six treasures, it eliminates fear and anxiety. It integrates the wisdom. Integrates the wisdom, my friend. Are you getting it? Did you understand by these two examples? Let us discuss about it. You like to summarize, who like to reflect on it and summarize what exactly you learned today. Anyone can take the lead.
I would like to say something. Am I to believe that it's predestined, and the only thing that I could do is how I maneuver through my destiny, and if I do it through my real self, or if I do it through the...
Your voice stopped, yes.
Oh. um, what I'm trying to say is that, am I to believe that everything is predestined, and the only thing we can control is how we maneuver through our destiny, and whether we approach things through our real self or through our delusions?
Yes, yes. One thing that everything is predestined is a good point. At the same time, there is a destiny and there is our action. So, do I follow the action which is right, proper, and good? Right, proper, and good. It can help me at a highest level even to change the destiny. So, but if you take the destiny as what has to happen will happen in the world outside, not personal level, then yes, that is predestined. So there are two parts in the destiny, and there are two parts in our thinking, in our speech, in our action. One, that I take an action based on six enemies because of binding desires, it will increase my suffering. I take the action which is right, proper, and good by discerning. It's not an ego driven action. What is ego driven action in the case of when the mind said, okay, he died at 82, I'm only 67, as if I have declared that until 82 I'm free. It's an ego driven action. So there are 2 points in the destiny, there are 2 points in our action. So I get rid of that negative action. Why, what the heck, mind, why you are thinking that you will live until 82? No! It doesn't mean that you are inviting fear and anxiety. You are clearing your mind from the delusion. Can I live Free from the delusion, 6 treasures are always with you. Then I told my honey that, look at my friend died at 82. Oh, he died at 82, yeah. Long years. So she also had the same level of delusion. I didn't say anything. Yes, anyone wants to summarize? Dennis, you want to take the lead?
I think the delusion will always be present with us as long as this body and the mind are alive, and also as long as this world exists, because this world is the delusion. And I cannot stop it. I mean, I cannot fully stop the delusion. But what I can do, I can recognize that this is delusion and prove it to myself and to the mind by contemplation and analysis, and then withdraw from it. So delusion lives its own life and I do not associate with it. And the method to do that is satsang.
Beautifully said. I cannot get rid of the delusion physically. Why? Delusion is the state of the mind. So I have to get rid of it mentally, emotionally. Are you getting it? That is what he is saying. How? By discernment. How the discernment comes? By satsang. I will continue to see the blueness of the sky, which is a delusion, even after I know the sky is not blue. We both are driving in a desert and there is the water, and I say no, it's a mirage. So your mind does not stop seeing that mirage, but now your perception is different. There is no water. Men, not an object of sensuality, both men and women. You just recognize it, finished. And your recognition is continuous. Mindfulness is continuous. You are free. So what happens in that state of the freedom? The 6 treasures are already there. Are you getting it? Are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Kind of both on what Barbara and Dennis said, as we go through the journey of life, we realize that delusion is all around us. We can't change it. We can't affect it. All we can do is be aware of it, identify it, and what we're learning through this process is the tools to do that, just to be aware of it, to identify it, and then how to just live with it. Because it's us, because it's not going to change. It's there forever through the entire journey of our life.
Beautifully, yes. Last time I said that gravitation and all these forces are same to everyone. But pain in me is my pain. It is not all pervading. So when I inquire that pain, I find it is a delusion. My friend died, it is my pain. So instead of living in that delusion, I see the impermanence of the body. I am grateful that I had met this guy who taught me. That is, whether you say it's a condolence or being grateful to them, that is the only truth we have. But our mind becomes impulsive. That causes the problem. We cannot change the world, gravitation, sunrise, but I can change my subjective experience. Why? Because that is the reason of suffering. Nothing outside is the cause of the suffering. We are seekers. We have to live in a higher state of the mind now. We are not talking at the primary level. Yes, Jerry, you want to say something?
Yes, thank you, sir. I think the separation of the permanent and the impermanent and recognizing that, and then really desiring to end that suffering that comes from wanting to attach to the impermanent. So
Yes.
once we have any type of suffering at all, it's an opportunity for us to see where our delusion is, and then attach to the permanent.
Beautifully said. You raised the two important points. First is the discernment between what is real and what is unreal. And the second is moving away from the impermanent. Moving away from the impermanent, in my case, they said, oh mind, what a crazy thought you had that I will also live until 82 because my friend lived. Body is impermanent. So I ease that impulsive nature in my mind that death causes fear. No fear at all. And then I say, then I see the impermanence, I drop the idea, subjective experience. So you are not hurt. You don't feel the pain. But you feel you lived your life with a person or with gratefulness, with a sense of gratitude. That much we can do. What Barbara said, destined. How long I am going to live, destined. I cannot change it. But I can change the way I live. How? By perception. How? Discernment. How? Satsang. You cannot get rid of this the delusion by doing the breathing practice. It has to be knowledge. Samir, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Sir, when there was a theory of Darwinism that survival of the fittest, survival
Yeah.
of the fittest. So in our mind, treasures are fittest or enemies are fittest, and which is healthy that will survive. And how we can make one thing healthy so that it can survive in our mind, so that other thing diminishes on its own. So that is there we have to give energy to the treasures so that they always remain on our mind and these enemies do not disturb us. So we have to make them more healthy and more fit in our mind so that they can live and have permanent house in our mind so that we can live happily and peacefully. So I think like that.
Yes, that thinking is right. That is why our master says there are 6 enemies. Basically, enemy means delusion. There is no enemy in the world.
Sir, enemies land us in sorrow and sadness.
That is why they are called enemies.
Take us to happiness. So when we differentiate and give strength to treasures, I think it helps us a lot in life.
Yes. Treasures means that it is present in the safe. It is my essential nature. They are always with me. So what is the basic teaching? In the moments of stress and anxiety, duality and a conflict, as Jerry said, we have an opportunity to find those treasures. Why find those treasures? They are always present in me. It is overlapped. It is superimposed by my subjective experiences, which are the enemies. Not very difficult now for you all. You have learnt all those years. Ultimately, we have to reach to a point where the knowledge is 100% ignorance is gone. That is the state of the awakening. Close your eyes, being place, position, and the posture. Place, you are aware. Now apply that knowledge. Place, position, posture. So you have a discomfort in the body. You find you have a big smile inside your mind. Oh, it's a body impermanent. I am always comfortable. Can you see that clearly? The more clearly you see all the time, the life undergoes a transformation. Being comfortable, being carefree. Do you remember being comfortable? You remember anything will do. Change the direction of the mind from outside world, empirical world, from the world where mind gets caught in the deluded nature. It does not even think of the real nature. So that is why we change the direction. That is the practical knowledge. You change the direction. Or you can say the comfort is natural all the time. And then being carefree. In being carefree, witness consciousness, knower in the known. Discernment reply. What is impermanent, what is permanent. We did lot of steps with the 6 neighbors. 6 neighbors, impermanent. Who is aware of the 6 neighbors? I am. Who is I am? Knower. Now we perceive as if these steps are, you are just talking, I have to do nothing. No. One thing that you have to do nothing, but question is, do you become aware? If you do not become aware, your mind simply says, I have to do nothing. Your mind is already caught in delusion. Again, I'm giving the same example. My friend died at 82. Okay, I will wait. That is a delusion, but that is my comfort zone. That comfort zone is a delusion. So where is the truth? I know I don't die. Why I don't die? I'm a real self. And then you're looking deep inside the forehead in the space. Pay attention. You're looking at a point in the space. You have to contemplate and reflect. Can you really look at a point in the space? That is what the awareness and attention is. So in all the focus and concentration, we create an imaginary point to focus. Answer is yes. But then there is a struggle to exclude the rest. Here, what is to exclude? There is only one space. So the concentration in Eastern wisdom and in modern psychology are different. And then keep that awareness, attention there inside. And then start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. Total expansion of the belly like a balloon and total contraction like a balloon. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath into the belly with continued focus inside. With continued focus inside. You're still breathing, but we have added the knowledge part, endurance, joy of doing. We did not to prevent the delusion of any kind. Where is the delusion of many kinds? Mind today will say, no, I cannot do it, so let me do it slowly or let me stop it. I have a lot of challenges. Why you are saying me to do it? So once you get rid of it, that is a progress. So in every step we become deeper and deeper. Even outside it appears the steps are the same, but we are going deeper. We are going deeper. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. So at your home, when you are doing this practice, you can also, in the very beginning, you can do the chest breathing that you already know it, belly breathing, and both of them, maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes each. And then you follow the audio file and see what happens. So you will know the importance of this kind of a breathing. And now leave this. Return to the flow of the breath and start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Now see in the nyas as you inhale, the mind moves from the top of the head to the spine inside the tailbone, singing mentally Om Shanti. During exhalation, the mind moves from the tailbone into the spine to the top of the head, singing Om Shanti. So now, how do you rate the progress that you are able to sing? The movement of the breath, the movement of the mind, awareness of the spine, and the Om Shanti. All the four pointed awareness are synchronized. Can it happen in a day? No. What exactly is the rule of this? Outside, we will talk about it. You are in anxiety for some reason outside. You bring that synchronization at that very time. You're getting upset because of the sickness of someone in your family. You start breathing, mentally saying Om Shanti, looking into the spine. The mind that was caught in a delusion will calm down. You will return to those six treasures. Sooner or later, we have to be consistent. Anytime you have a headache, you can do it. You are upset over someone or something, some event, you do it. So that is why we have included this step. So the deeper, we will go deeper into this nyasa also. And now leave this, move the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle. Pointing upward, move the mind on each side of a triangle, your mind on each side, dropping Om Shanti. Check the sync is there. You have a vivid vision of the triangle when you are synchronizing. So that will deepen your practice. So you need to contemplate and reflect. There are many examples of synchronization. Synchronization of hour, minute and second needle of the watch. What it means, you think of it. Then what? Then the outer event, body and the mind. Synchronization. So we are moving there. And now is the time to push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart while singing Om, as if your singing is pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops. You say Shanti, and then you do nothing. So you have to check. Thoughts, feeling, emotions, they may come and go, but they are not disturbing you. They remain outside. Why? Delusion will continue, but now you are untouched by it. That is another definition of being self-absorbed. You live in awareness. So living into that awareness, and you live into that state. Delusion side by side. But if the delusion takes over, you forget, you may fall into the sleep. No way, that is falling again. All are seekers. I have been telling you, you have to apply these principles in your life. Karma Yoga is very important. Only that will purify the mind. One self-absorption is I become unconscious. We don't want that. Another kind of a self-absorption is with a frequent disruption. We don't want that. We want a self-absorption on one side, and yes, we may be aware of those deluded thoughts, feelings, emotions. They are too far from us. So when I reflected that the body is impermanent, my friend died at the age of 82, I was aware that that delusion is that the person dies because the body leaves. So that awareness is there. But then mind moved to where? By discernment it moved to the reality. What is that reality? I am pure consciousness. I am the real self that never dies. What happens? I awaken to what I am already. That is why it is known as awakening. So when I discern and perceive separately, independently, that there is some presence in me which is different than the ego and the objective world, yes, I'm awakened to that spiritual consciousness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experience. Please don't forget to apply these principles at any point of time. I have given you an extreme example of a death. Very near and dear ones. This friend of mine had been very dear to me, very near. what the society says, start shedding the tears. Start crying very hard. Apply the wisdom. Why not apply the wisdom at this moment? When you apply the wisdom while driving? Anyhow, I made you understand. How are you, Christina?
Thank you so much. My conviction is growing stronger. I used to fear death, and I very much don't and can see that. And so the eternal. And so acceptance of that has produced a lot of freedom. Yet I notice my ego mind, when you mentioned delusion of time, it still wants to say there's not enough time at times, and that we actually have the power to take away the power of the delusion when we become aware and can accept all these unhelpful ways of thinking.
Beautiful. You rightly said it comes from deeper within you. The conviction, the power of conviction is increasing. It should increase. Why it should increase? That is the only thing we are discovering that is permanent and eternal, that is unchanging. Mind does not have a conviction. Why the mind does not have a conviction? 6 enemies. What we are doing, we are awakening to the 6 treasures so that conviction continues. Conviction continues. Last week also I had a strong headache, maybe because of this dry weather. And a mind instantly picks up, okay, thank you, mind, you made me notice this. It remained. So it doesn't mean that it will go away in a few seconds. It will remain, and after few hours it is gone. You take the best possible treatment. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Meditation was very good. The word that kept coming to mind during the meditation for me was Teflon, and that delusion doesn't get stuck to me because I've got this Teflon now, this Teflon tool.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, that's what I thought of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You recognize, you hit the delusion with your awareness, with your knowledge, with your wisdom. There the satsang comes. The moment you hit it, it's not there. It is simply not there. But it appears it is there. Why? It depends on the real. And then what happens? We see that her consciousness is with me. How are you, Jerry?
I'm good, thank you. I had a lot of reflection during the meditation, and the metaphor of the delusion being like a tsunami almost, if you will.
Yeah.
And that when the delusion's still there, but when it really doesn't affect us, it's too far away, it's more like a little ripple in that still, and then it becomes very still for a long while. So like that, and when we lose people that are near and dear, we miss that relationship. And then that inspires our memory, I think, of all the things that we appreciated and loved and valued in that relationship. But we know it's impermanent.
Yeah. First, beautifully said. First thing that it is permanent, even if even making that statement we lose near and dear ones is a statement of delusion. Do you see that? So when I see the delusion clearly, then I'm grateful that I have been with this guy because he taught me. I'm grateful. In my case, I'm grateful. That is the process. That is the way the world we cannot change. We cannot change. So when I say I cannot change, I'm in the mood of discernment. When I'm in mood of discernment, then I see what is permanent and what is impermanent. The mind calms down. What is coming down of the mind that I awaken to the six pleasures. Yeah, you're filled with that sense of calmness. I discussed with my friend's wife for an hour, and she is also very pragmatic. I found one woman, she has been very, she immigrated here because there was shortage of nurses in US in those days, Gary, long back in 2006. So she was instantly in there, but she's very pragmatic. Beautifully said, how are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. My meditation was very calm and very deep. I was completely absorbed. I had no thoughts whatsoever. And in fact, your voice seemed like it was coming from very far away.
Beautiful. Yes, coming from very far away, that is also an indication of self-absorption. Beautifully said. Dennis, how are you?
Peaceful, comfortable meditation. There was dark space and full awareness, recognition of some thoughts and your voice, like it is there but not affecting my calmness, not sticking, so to say, like nothing sticks to Teflon that David mentioned, which I think is a very good metaphor of what happens in discernment and higher awareness.
Yes, yes, yes. You all are reflecting so well. You know, it helps you to live into that state. One time my voice will feel that why this crazy guy is speaking, I'm already there. That would be the best day of meditation practice. How are you, Terry?
My meditation was about noticing the when the mind was focused and when it strayed, where it went, just continually noticing, and the breathing together with that seemed like a tool to prevent unconscious thinking, where the mind obsesses without even realizing it.
Yes, there are many layers of the delusion, the more and more we become aware of it. And I told you that delusion, empirical reality, the worldly reality of change will continue to have it. Sometimes my mind is so much receptive that I take it inside, clarity is there, I experience the same level of energy and the freshness which I don't experience after 10 minutes of breathing. On the other days, it is the breathing. Normally, I do these 10-15 minutes of breathing every day when I wake up in the morning. I do it every day, but someday my mind says, no, you don't need to do it. You're already into that level of energy. It means there is a possibility that if the mind completely away leaves those impurities, mind can live into that state of energy. You don't need to breathe. So it means my freshness, my energy, my level of awareness is independent of the breathing. Or generalization, independent of any action. Why it is independent of any action? Because I am of the nature of the real self of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. My nature, intrinsic nature is this. That is what the spiritual consciousness we are going to. Thank you very much. Continue to apply these principles. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.